Something was brought to my attention that I investigated. It turns out it's true. So, you know how the Umbral Shard system just came out for New World. Also, there's a bunch of changes to a bunch of different stuff on top of a bunch of bugs, but we're not going to that in this video. So, what happens now is you can actually craft your items to get expertise, and you can craft your items to get Umbral Shards. Now, the way that this works is that if you craft an item that is 600 gear score, it'll give you a bump to your expertise. And if your expertise is 600, instead of giving you a bump to your expertise, it will give you Umbral Shards, which you can use to upgrade your gear. So then that raises the obvious questions of what's the cheapest way to get 600s in order to do that if you are one of those people who's going to spend bankroll doing it. Well, turns out that there's actually kind of a trick for that. So normally what would happen is you'd need 3 major trophies. You'd need the whole armoring set or weaponsmithing set, etc., whatever, the food, all that, earring. And then you would have, and the town buff, come to think of it, and you would have 596 to 600 gear score crafts, which means 1 out of 6 would be a 600 gear score item, which means it's going to be really expensive because you got to use Phoenix Weave or Runic Leather or Asmodium, and it's only 1 out of 6. So it's going to cost you, like, on average, what? Like, I don't know the math from it, but 6,000 to 15,000 coins per 600, depending on what piece you're trying to do, like a chest piece or, you know, versus a gloves, for example. But there's actually a way to do it much cheaper. Now, it's still going to be more expensive for a chest than it is for gloves, but at least when I made this video, the cost of what I'm about to show you is very, very cheap. Now, that may change after this video, which may make some people super salty, and I do apologize, but the world's got to find out somehow, and I guess I'm going to be the guy to show you. So, there's an item that we used to use in this game that used to be a big fad for a long time. If you played since launch, the irony of what I'm about to tell you is going to be hysterical, okay? So, there's an item that gives you guaranteed 600 legendary rolls. Some people might immediately be realizing what I'm about to say. So there's this item called Void Bent Ingot, and if you have one in your inventory, you can craft 600 gear score items. Well, since Void Bent actually sucks long term, we've hit a point in this game where nobody wants it anymore, and nobody cares about it. So, what has that done to the prices of Void Bent Ingots? Well, let's go take a look at my server. I don't know about your server, but let's take a look at my server, and let's take a look at Void Bent Ore and Void Bent Ingots. Okay, so here we are. Let's take a look at Void Ore, first off. It's only 300 coins. Void Bent Ingot, 1,700 to 2,000 coins. Okay, and I'm going to buy one of these because I need to show you the armor too here in a sec. Although it's cheaper to craft. So actually, it uses a Void Essence to make a Void Bent Ingot, which is free, and then you need elemental hearts, 10 of them, which has now been nerfed, so it's only going to be 100 of every moat. And because that was nerfed, it made moat prices drop, which means that on average you will pay to make the Void Bent Ingot based on these prices on my server. On average, you'll probably pay something like 1,000 coins, maybe 800 coins to make one. Because if you go over here, you can actually see Void Bent Ingot is 1 Void Essence, 1 Void Ore, 10 Energy Core. And you go over the Void Cores, and it's going to be 10 Elemental Hearts. I'm showing this for people who don't know how to make these, by the way. 10 Elemental Hearts, 10 Turn Hearts, 10 Elemental Hearts, and that is how you make 10 Energy Cores. So yeah, 100 of every single moat. So basically pretty cheap. Now, what do you do with a Void Bent Ingot? Well, you go over to the outfitting station. There's actually there's light, medium, and heavy Void Bent armor you can make. It'll show up once you have one. If you don't have a Void Bent Ingot, these recipes will disappear. But the best one you're going to be making is going to be the Void Bent medium, at least when I made this video. And the main reason for that is Infused Claws, Infused Fangs, Scar Hide, all super cheap. And the Runic Leather and Phoenix Weave are interchangeable in price. Now, the coat is going to be hellishly expensive, but still, it's one of those things. If you have money, guys, if you got money and you want to get your expertise up by buying it, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Now, especially the boots and the grips, they're not very expensive to make. So let's take a look at some of these prices. We got Runic Leather, Phoenix Weave, Asmodium, Infused Claw, Infused Fang. It only uses 1 Asmodium too, which is great because Asmodium is going to be the most expensive. So we'll start with the most expensive, which nowadays has Modi on mine. It's about 320, 330. And then the Phoenix Weave has come up since the patch. It's about 100 now. And then the Runic Leather is about 155, 160 type of thing. So it's not that bad. And then we got Infused Claws, which are, I think, free. Yep. And Infused Fangs, which are free. And Scarhide, which is basically free. So you can start to see where this is going. So I'm going to pop up a text editor, okay? So if you're watching this at night, shield your eyes. There's going to be a big white box that pops up. So here is what it takes, and here's some rough prices on my server of what you're going to pay for all these materials. And in total, that's going to cost you 2,500 to 3,500 coins per craft for boots and gloves. Now, it's going to be much more expensive for the other ones, probably like 6,000 or something, depending on the prices. The prices will change after this video probably, and even if I didn't make this video, they'll slowly change because more and more people are going to start realizing eventually. So, yeah, pretty darn cheap. But let's go ahead and craft one anyway so we can see, does this actually work? Because, you know, there's a lot of bugs after this patch came out. So let's double check that we actually get the expertise, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get these mats ready, and then we're gonna bang one of these things out. Now, before I craft this, I do want to say, if you are trying to get Umbral Shards, if you already have expertise 600, then you're just going to make the boots and the grips, and you're going to pay 2,000 to 3,000 coins, basically, or 2,500 to 3,500 for, I think it was 85 Umbral Shards. That's what it was on the PTR. Now, that could have changed. I can't test it because my character on live doesn't have 600 expertise. You need 600 expertise to get Umbral Shards from doing this, but it should be 85 as long as they didn't change it. So you're basically paying 3,000 coins for 85 Umbral Shards, which I do want to say before we do this, the most effective way to get Umbral Shards is going to be mutators. All this crafting stuff is just like a joke, right, for Umbral Shards. Like, it's only if you have nothing to do, your company owns Windsward and you're just rich, sure, why not? Go ahead and do it. But otherwise, it's not practical, and I would highly recommend doing mutators for Umbral Shards. But for expertise bumps, you know, it's not the worst cost. You know, especially if you got a lot of money. It's not so bad, actually, for expertise, though. It'll speed up the process. All right, but let's see if it actually works, though. So, boots. Let's craft. And we got kicked out. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully in February when they fix bugs, I'll fix that one because that one's been out since launch. All right, craft. And I got 3 footwear expertise. So it does, in fact, work, which is pretty darn cool. So you know what I'm going to be doing before I post this video? I'm going to be spending like 50,000 coins to get my boots and my gloves up to like 580 expertise or something. So that way I can just get a head start on those ones and then use my gypsum cast on my other pieces. So I think that's basically the play. I really think the play for this one is if you're on a budget like I am, I only got like 250,000 coins worth of items. Well, I can't show you now. But the best ones to do is just go ahead and get your gloves and your boots up to 600 with this, if you can still get them cheap. And then just everything else, you can just do it the normal way with gypsum. So that is what I would recommend doing personally. So there's your chance. If you were subscribed to this YouTube and you saw this early, you might get real lucky on that one. If you're already rich, though, it's going to take money, obviously. There's a lot of people who are going to be watching this and go, well, don't got any money, so what's it matter, right? And if that's the case, that's the case. If you're watching this, though, and you're one of the people with coin cap, you know what you're going to be doing today. If there's even enough void bent or ingots to support you on the market, I know what you're going to be spending on. But yeah, hopefully that helps you out if you got money. Even if it doesn't help you out, even just for curiosity's sake, it's a really interesting thing to know about. So yeah, if you are seeing this and the prices are still low like they were when the patch came out, then you could go ahead and bang out some gloves, some boots, get that expertise up to 600, or just get some quick Umbral Shards to get you started and get a few pieces up to 605 or something like that, 610, which then would make it so you can go straight to mutators and it'll be easier right off the bat. It's just whichever way you want to play is up to you, but I just wanted to let you know about this. So if you are going to be using crafting to make any of this stuff, surprisingly, never thought I'd be saying this, but void bent ingots and void bent armor is going to be the cheapest thing that you could possibly do.